Colin here, and welcome to our second Throwback Thursday, hashtag TBT. Today, I want to look at the podcast number 41, which we recorded March 9th of 2013. It's the one about Google's penalties for over-optimizing your website. In it, I tell you how Google started to penalize websites that use too many keywords and keyword strings, a penalty that's still very much enforced today. Enjoy. Hey, good afternoon. Today is Saturday, March 9th, and wanted to talk today. We've been seeing a lot of docs that have been hit with an over-optimization penalty from Google. Believe it or not, middle of last year, Google started rolling out an over-optimization penalty for sites that are too optimized. Maybe they're not actually using a black hat tactic, which is kind of a frowned upon gray area of search engine optimization. Maybe they're not doing completely white hat type tactics, which are above board ethical type marketing methods. But maybe they are trying a little too hard, over optimizing their website. And April, May, June of last year, Google started rolling out an over optimization penalty. And I wanted to talk a little bit about what you can do to make sure that your site isn't being hit with this penalty. The one big thing is make sure that your titles are authentic. Keyword stuffing, which goes way back to the 90s, has been used over and over and over. And of course, Google has really cut down on the amount of keyword stuffing you can do. If you're keyword stuffing on your page too much, they're going to catch you and they're going to blacklist you. But a lot of people use a measure of keyword stuffing in their titles and descriptions throughout their web pages. And if they don't sound real, Google is going to catch you now. It needs to sound like a human being wrote them, not just stuffing keywords in there because you think that's what Google wants to see. So make them sound authentic. If it doesn't sound right to you, Google's going to catch on to it too. They're doing a lot of manual actions now, where there's actual people, real people, going out browsing websites, ranking, deranking them, and verifying that sites are authentic and legitimate. Second thing we see a lot of within a website is manipulative internal linking structures inside of content where people might have a word repeated throughout their website. Chicago dentist, Chicago dentist, Chicago dentist, and they're using these internal words and linking them with that same anchor text to the same page over and over and over again from internal within their sites. And Google is now catching on to this. It looks spammy. It feels spammy. It's manipulative. If that is something that you're doing on your site, your rankings are coming down, something you need to be taking a look at because Google's coming for you. Go for logical type linking structures. If it's in normal conversational tone that you have some content and you see a couple words in there, link to a page here or to a page there. But don't repeat the same word, cosmetic dentist Chicago 75 times on your website and create links to your cosmetic dentistry page and expect that to work anymore. It's something that Google's actually begun for the past 6 months penalizing you for. Number 3, stuffing a lot of links in your footer. That's something that you need to have some links in your footer for user experience. People get to the bottom of your page, they need to have some navigation avenues that they can go other places with. But if you have 10,000 links in your footer, or if you have 50 links in your footer, that's just a bunch of junk. Don't be the dentist that does that and thinks you're going to spam Google anymore. Because again, if it doesn't look authentic, if it doesn't feel authentic, if their new over-optimization algorithm doesn't catch you, their manual spam checkers will, where they're literally hired thousands of people to browse websites and look at guys who are doing gray hat type marginal spammy type search engine manipulative tactics that they don't want on their search engines. Guys that are putting out great content and have great websites with video, those are the kind of websites Google wants to see. And they are going to be separating the herd from the guys that are doing it to the guys that just want you to think that they're doing it and they're being manipulative. Text content blocks, where there's a big text of keywords. Believe it or not, the old keyword stuffing from back in the 90s, you still see some guys doing that. And they have just really whittled away year over year over year to get rid of that. We still see some guys doing it. I think this over-optimization penalty is really going to be the final stake in the coffin for guys that just use flat-out keyword stuffing in their content. And the fifth one, which we've been talking about for years, but Google hasn't had the technology to really enforce it, is backlinks from irrelevant or penalty-likely sources. If you are a dentist, there's no reason that someplace over in India or China or the Philippines or a website about selling chainsaws or baby formula should be linking to yours. Absolutely no reason. If you have 5,000 backlinks built into your website and they're all from these irrelevant spam websites and blogs, and blog commenting is a big spam tactic that a lot of SEO companies use, where they just go around to blogs on the internet and spam the comments with your link. And if this is you, you're going to be penalized. If you have backlinks coming from a penalty likely website, like these big article websites and blog websites and the websites that only exist out there to be spammy and build these fake backlinks that all these marginal SEO companies use. If this is you, they're going to start applying a penalty to your website. Take a look in your Google Webmaster tools. You can see all the sites that have backlinks coming to yours. You can see, if you've got some stuff coming in that's penalty likely, I'd go ahead and flush it out. Don't wait until it's too late, because if they penalize you, the chances of you ever recovering from that completely are slim to none. In fact, we've had some dentists here recently, two in particular, that their website was so heavily penalized, it made more sense, both time-wise and financial-wise, to simply dump their website or their domain completely, start a new website with a new domain, and start from scratch with SEO, because they had these old, they both had old websites they'd done SEO on for years. They had great rankings for years, but they were so heavily penalized from the changes Google made in 2011, 2012, that it would have cost tens of thousands of dollars to recover their site and their domain from what was happening. So keep an eye on things. This isn't a fear podcast. Run out and do something right now, or the hand of Google is going to come down and striketh on you. Pay attention to what's going on. This isn't another another new thing to jump onto. This isn't some radical change that Google's made. It's a logical progression of what Google deems is best for the people searching. And if you really sit down and think about it, what's good for Google and for Google's customers, I think you'll agree that the changes in the direction that Google's going in are good for the people searching. They might not be good for you as a dentist if you're using some of these spammy tactics, but depends which side of the fence you're on. So take a look at your website and just pay attention to what's going on. Know where your backlinks are coming from. Know what kind of company you've hired to do SEO for you. Pay attention to the content on your site. Make sure it's unique. Make sure it's not spammy. You can read through it and tell this very easily. If it sounds spammy, if it sounds like you're trying to convince somebody that you're the best cosmetic dentist in Chicago, Google's going to think you're trying to convince somebody too. So that's all for Saturday. Keep moving forward.